Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with the industrious Bill Englehart and Mike Carroll.
It's a big word.
No one's ever called us that before.
I've never heard that one.
You take that back, David.
Yeah. I don't like cuss words.
Well, I was thinking about it the other day. Mike he's been a property developer. He's an artist, athlete, judge, attorney, state's attorney. One of these days, Mike, you're gonna.
What's he leaving out, Bill?
One of these days, Mike, you're gonna find something you're good at.
Well, you take back that industrious, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Jamie.
Well, you need to say that Bill and I are really good golfers. That's all we care about.
Yeah.
You told me yesterday you're not golfing anymore.
Well, I had a pacemaker put in. They said if I move my arm above my chest, I pull all my wires out of my heart. Now, who wants to do that? Yeah. Heart goes back to 10 beats a minute. I'm in trouble.
Gee, man,
yeah, I'll go back to.
He's resting. He's recouping.
I'm in training.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
All right. Well, next week we're going to do something a little different.
Well, we're not going to be industrious, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to be?
We're going to be at the coffee shop.
And the name of the coffee shop is?
Hometown Ground.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get that right?
Hometown Grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Next to Cast Iron Pub. And
Cody and Sam Shelmadine.
So we're gonna
Tim and Lynn's daughter.
We'll still have the photos uploaded to Facebook, but we're not going to discuss the photos next week. We'll have to save them for the week after. We're going to do a special homecoming edition of the Remembering Tuscola webcast. So we'll have some special guests and we're doing it live.
So who are the special guests? Is that a secret?
Well, I think Marcy Shoemaker is going to come on, and I think Lynn Colbecker may come on.
A couple of members of the class of 74.
And it'll be during
one of the top 100 classes in Tuscola history.
One of them. Yeah.
Well, and anyone who wants to come on can. It will be in a public location.
Well, Sam and Cody's daughter, Rin, will definitely come on. She's a dynamo in there.
So we're going to talk about homecoming, tell some stories. Some of them will be true, I'm sure, or partially true.
And it will not involve.
That's close enough.
I'd say if you're in the ballpark,
Yeah.
Mark Twain said, hyperbole never heard a good story.
He also said, I don't exaggerate, I just remember big.
Yeah, facts don't hurt us. Good story.
Yeah, facts get in the way of a good narrative sometimes.
Yeah,
Bill and I can barely remember homecoming. We can name who we took to homecoming all 4 years. I know I can. You can too, right?
You know what? I was trying to remember my sophomore year.
Was that Becky?
No, that was freshman year. That was just so much that I can't even remember after that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some fun.
We better.
It's mandatory.
We'll find out if we've got any new Howards or Grimbos out there that.
Well, that's the thing. We'll be on Facebook. I got to figure out if I can put it on Remembering Tuscola Live. It may be on the County Chronicle page, so you may have to go there to see it. But we'll put a notice on the Remembering Tuscola to go to the County Chronicle page. So we're gonna be live, and that means people can make comments on Facebook, and you guys will be able to read the comments and be able to respond to them.
Yeah, we used to really enjoy Howard correcting us. Maybe Taylor and Michener will jump in and really.
Hey, You know what? Those two guys ought to show up.
Yeah, they ought to come in and get a coffee and sit down with
Yeah.
us.
Well, give them a ring.
Well, we're telling them right now.
We're telling them right now because they're watching.
They're glued.
They watch every move we make.
They do.
Yeah.
I drive around town, they're on my bumper.
Yeah.
Get off my bumper, Bob. Booby.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that, and
Yeah,
hope
looking forward to it, David.
it'll be a
Thank you.
blockbuster.
Yeah, too bad we can't get, I'll tell you what, some of our live programs, like with Fred, they were mountaintops.
That was very special.
But
That's number one.
I'm still upset that
Over
I'm
1,000
still
views.
upset that Dave's the one that got his haircut, not me or you.
That's true.
I had more hair available to cut.
David, has it ever grown out?
No, I got the same haircut still. Just
Yeah.
it's glued on.
Bill's showing off the fact he's got hair. Oh, Juan Lu. Is that Alan's?
Novico?
Yeah, is that Novico, Alan?
I don't know.
Married to Alan's cousin. What was his name?
They lived in Parkview. What was?
Worked at True Value. Really nice guy.
Yeah, and she was a nice lady.
I don't know if that's her.
But
or
I
not.
don't think that's her. That picture looks like it's out of the 50s just by
Yeah.
the curtains.
Yeah, 56. Who would be that young then?
I don't know.
Well, we did have a comment where Joanne Pugh Hamilton says, looks like Mrs. Tong Chong's wife and baby. Tony was a colleague of her dad's at the PSL lab at USI. Their families were good friends. Tony went on to become the head of the USI division in Taiwan. Mrs.
Wow.
Chong is a sweetheart.
Whoa. Hope they're safe. Got their nuclear fallout shelter. Well, we wouldn't have got that one, would we?
I think, well, I thought we did good.
Novico.
Yeah, Novico.
Well, I gotta remember what was his first name? It starts with a D, I think.
I can see him, but I can't give you the name.
Great guy.
Yeah, very nice person. She was swell. They lived in Parkview, right on the
Yeah.
curve.
Okay, we got that one.
I had to relight my cigar. You know, priorities.
Wow.
Were they the maids of honor for a wedding?
This is
You look
Some
in the
sort
same
of-
picture I am?
yeah, it's this hospital dietary
Salina women in white. It looked like a maids of honor
they
or
even have white shoes.
some kind of initiation.
I think this
Do you think they're
is
candy stripers or
I
whatever they
think
used to call them?
I think they
Aides?
work in a
Nurses' aides.
Okay,
I-
Joyce Lewis says they're USI cafeteria ladies.
That's what we thought. That's what we
Oh.
thought
I
originally.
recognize my mother, Marjorie Kibler, Judy Morris, Jerry Goodman, Ellie Lyons,
Wow. Give her 12 points.
and Carol Hausman says, I think Mrs. Wish there also.
I don't remember what Mrs. Wish looked like.
I don't either. I remember Mike. That's an interesting picture. They had, and I know a lot of people that ate in the cafeteria at that time.
It was a great place
They
to
had
eat.
good food.
Yeah, Dad liked eating there. Made him wear white.
Yeah.
Okay. David's throwing some toughies at us here.
This is a Christmas bazaar.
I'm going to say that's a Christmas tree. What the world are you? What a Christmas bazaar.
Well, a bazaar
What a
is where they
what a
pass
genius.
gifts around.
What a genius.
Yeah.
Can you give us a tip on any of these women?
I don't have any names on this one.
Oh, there's Buffalo Bill Rogers. Who would that be there? That donkey.
Look at that kid there.
Yeah. You almost say it's a bishop, but
You know, I've got a picture of me sitting on a horse like that. And you used to do pictures. We would travel around with a horse, a photographer would, and take the pictures.
Reelect JKE and Dick.
Ike and
Ike
Dick.
and Dick.
Oh, Ike and Dick.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, I remember Larry Ike and Dick lived down the lived in Parkview. Remember Larry Ike and Dick? Well, this has got to be 56. Tricky Dick.
Becky
And I-
Barnes Hollenby says that her cousin Doug Rice riding on Petey, her grandpa Rice's donkey.
Well, this is your
Well, that's
classmate.
Doug Rice.
I'd say that's Doug Rice.
Yeah. Doug Rice was a usher at my wedding,
Yeah.
and also took the last shot at our goal.
Marcola, 8 seconds to go. Try
God
it from half
dang it.
court. Doug, just waited. Work
You
it in.
launched it.
Work it in, the bright. Okay, these are your classmates here. Can you
So
figure out who?
Oh, I
listen to
told you that
this.
one was familiar.
Becky Barnes Hollinsby says that she
Where's
was with
Gordon?
her grandma and grandpa while her parents were in Wisconsin. They went to the Decatur Fair, and she saw this donkey. They were where you ride around in a circle. Somebody had this donkey at the fair, and she cried and cried and threw such a fit that her grandpa went back the next day and bought the donkey and the saddle.
Wow.
That's a good
And,
thing about farmland.
Grandpa Rice.
You got the
So
money.
Marine
buy the
Beaver
donkey.
Purcell says looks like a little Bill Evans in the foreground.
Well, but this is in Decatur though, right? Yeah, it looks like Billy Evans.
Billy Evans was in
This
our
is-
class.
No, this is not in Decatur.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, this is back in Tuscola. That's Billy
Yeah.
Evans.
Grandpa bought the donkey and she says I think it was in town during a Halloween pet parade.
Well, that kid behind who they think is Billy Evans sure looks familiar. Huh.
Almost Flash Hanners. Did your granddad
Flash
ever
was
buy you a
younger.
donkey?
No. No.
Courthouse Christmas party. They would always have every Christmas, because I see a Christmas tree. Every year the courthouse has a party. It's like Betty Jolly in the middle with a plaid skirt.
This looks like Dana Bishop's, the Bishop boy's aunt, Monty Rom's
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah, that's Monty Ron. And that's Betty Jolly.
It sure looks like her.
And
Who's the big fellow in the back?
well, I don't know, could have been the sheriff at the time.
Jim Rice.
When was Jim Rice sheriff?
Well,
56?
He's 50, late 50s.
Yeah.
That would be him.
What was Monty Ron's wife's name? Remember?
Betty,
Betty Ron?
I think.
Yeah, is that Betty Jolly, you think?
I think. Who else would be in that picture that would still be?
Steve Reardon says Doris Romine standing in front of the man by the column.
No.
Standing in front of the man by the column.
Well, that's hard to see.
Yeah.
Is that a young Tom Van Vorst back here? Go back in the middle, go up the middle a little
With
bit.
a lot of hair?
With hair, right there. Could that be
I think you might be.
that WA turned sideways?
No, it looks too big for WA.
Definitely
Okay.
at the courthouse.
First floor.
Ugh,
Well, this is the meat
Move
locker.
we have to move the picture a little bit. This is
Yeah.
John Rothgeb.
Yeah, let me get this out of the way here.
Oh, I see. And that's Gene Hall,
Gene Hall on the right, used
He
to own
was
the
a jeweler.
jewelry store downtown.
John Rothgeb, Johnny Boy,
Heating and plumbing.
and Pete Kelsey.
Pete Kelsey of Kelsey. This is when Pete first opened. These are all businessmen,
Who is that?
and they're at the I think the community building, looking out of the kitchen window
Yeah,
there.
ABC, probably.
Mhm.
Alan Mishner says from right, Gene Hall, John Rothgeb, Pete Kelsey, Harold Zane, and then he didn't know.
Mr. Zane, the bakery.
Yeah, the next three I don't quite know. Where'd Johnny Rothkip come from? Remember?
I don't know.
Chicago?
Hey, Johnny
Hey,
boy,
Hey,
Johnny and George.
oh, Gene Hall, nice guy.
Mhm.
He was right about the pool hall. Wasn't the pool hall entrance right
Close.
next, right close
Yeah,
within a building or
Pretty
so?
close.
I think I bought a couple of gifts in there in high school for my homecoming date.
Yes.
Oh, there they are. The American Gothic.
American Gothic. Look at the wallpaper. I'm always fascinated by it.
Becky, you know who that is?
Lee Bibbs.
I didn't have any names on this. Looks like Garrett folks to me.
I'd say Hugo. Hugo's our default.
When in doubt. They have
They,
an African on the
they look
couch.
a lot like my grandparents from Garrett, but they're not. But
Well, they're probably some kind of relation to
they
you.
probably are related.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wait a minute. That's what's her name?
Now we know her.
Mary Cox. Oh, sad.
We know these gals. These are Tuscola gals. You know
Marine
her.
Beaver thinks the one on the far right is Mrs. Warren.
Mrs. Warren?
H. Ray. H. Ray Warren.
Is it Steve Bear's aunt?
Well, I don't
Dave
know.
Bear's sister? Oh,
It's looks like a cell phone in her hand.
she was she was a fireball.
Little
Yeah, that's a
calendar.
cigarette case. Yeah, May. Well, May was Fireball too. She was
Yeah.
full of life.
Mrs. Warren she was, man. She did handstands out in the yard.
Here's this group again. Same group of guys.
Same
Pete-
group, different pose.
Pete is missing business. He would prefer to be back at the store.
Yeah. This
John,
what are they cooking, you think?
I hope it's donuts, Mr.
probably
Zane.
pancakes.
You gotta go? Yeah. See ya. What are we gonna do, honey, if we can't identify anything?
Well, you'll just have to wing it.
Have a good
Okay.
afternoon, Becky.
See ya. Yeah, probably ABC pancake
Mhm.
dinner.
I'm reading through the comments. Lots of comments on this picture. So if you go to Facebook, remembering Tuscola, you can find all the comments. A lot of comments this week.
Builder.
That's Frank Earl Wilhelm in the ditch.
Down in the ditch. The old clay
Gosh,
sewer.
where are they hooking up? Sewer pipe.
I said sewer pipe.
Yeah. But
Looks like they just laid it. I don't see how they joined it together. See, it looks like they just laid it loose.
see, I don't know.
That trench is gonna be filled with poop here. They don't seal those things up. Well, here they got a little collar down here on them. You can see that. They
I hope.
should be connecting collars or. Is that Frank Earl for sure?
Well, it looks like him
What's
to
it-
me.
What's his shovel doing? Got a spike coming out of it. See that?
Yeah.
Look at that. Go on that shovel there close on the right. That shovel. What in the world?
I don't know. Shovel's broken in half, isn't it? Look at that short shovel.
Short
I guess you
shovel.
had to use it. Short shovel in that.
What's the
Confined
unicorn coming
space.
up out of the back of it? Oh, it's a sundial. They can tell the time. Frank knows when to break for lunch.
That is, yeah.
I think it is.
And who's on
going-
the left?
I have no idea
Who
who
helped
the
him?
other fellow is.
Later in life, Beck did. What was his name from Camargo? Used to be his helper. First name Beck. What was his last name?
Mhm.
Bill
I forgot.
Laley.
That's Bill
That's
Laley.
Bill Laley?
That's what we think.
Huh.
He worked out at Cabot, I thought. But this is
Or
56.
the plant.
Yeah, 56. There's no Cabot at the time. Boy, oh boy. Well, Tuscola Cemetery.
This is probably from a Memorial Day service.
probably.
I don't have names on that one.
Both had on their hats.
Okay, we've had this before. On the right is Maury Little and Teresa, and then Eric Fromm and Olin, and then Weatherford and Harriet, Dave Hausman and his dad.
Wow, it's a great picture, isn't it?
Yeah,
Harriet's in my class.
Dave was my sister's class 63. Olin was 67. Teresa was 64.
Eric Fromm was 67.
Yeah, Andrea's class, Martha Witt.
Mhm.
Teresa was
Married Barbara Campus
yeah, from your class.
from my class.
Harriet was up at U of I, wasn't she? I lost track of Harriet.
She was the assistant associate athletic director. She had a good job at
Yeah.
U of I. She retired.
She was head majorette at Tuscola.
Yeah, boy, he looks familiar, but I don't know who it is.
Looks like Conair, but
He had his wings. This guy was a pilot.
give us his initials
Well,
if anybody knows him.
nobody knew, and I don't know if the guy in the picture is the same one named on the envelope.
What's it say on the envelope?
Bill Huber.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Unless there's another Bill Huber out there.
Say, it doesn't look like Bill, does it?
Bill
Yeah,
never
but-
got any wings. I think he played football
Yeah,
mostly.
No, I
There were
don't
a
believe so.
couple,
Number one, he'd be smiling.
but maybe some relation. Let me show you the
Can you zero in?
let me look at oops.
Put it up there. Put it up there to the,
There's a smiling picture.
put it up to the camera.
That's the
No.
other pose.
Nope.
You know what? Hang on. That's from, where's that picture taken? Tuscola at Pettit?
That's World War II.
That's a Pettit photo.
Okay. The fighter pilots in World War II from Tuscola were Richard Bishop and, oh, help me on the other one.
Well,
I just had a brain too.
he's the builder,
Dick Lake.
Dick Lake, and Dick
Yeah.
Lake.
Richard Lake and Richard Bishop.
But that could be a 56 photo of somebody who was,
This photo is from 1944.
well, this World War, yeah.
That's
Okay.
World War II.
That's not Dick Lake. Go back and show it again.
The other guy that was involved,
Is that Bishop? Is that Richard? I never saw Richard Bishop. Could that be Dick? And is that Dana's dad?
possibly. David would get it if he saw it. though.
Shavy would get it.
Doesn't look like the boys, does it?
No, looks like a Conair.
Yeah,
Looks
but
like Howard's.
Howard's dad was wounded in D-Day, I believe, but his dad wasn't a pilot. I think that's wings, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah,
This guy would be, although I don't see anything on his shoulders, an
Well,
officer.
no, I don't see any officer
I don't see
designation.
any officer designation.
yeah, the name on the envelope is Bill Huber, Tuscola, but so I don't know what the connection is.
Yeah,
And it says soldier underneath it. And no comment, so maybe all the Hubers are on the Remembering Tuscola site, so
Bill was
maybe they can help me out.
tall and handsome. He wasn't a slender guy like this. Oh, there we go. There's Cooley, Spade Cooley. I don't know anybody. This is is
I know this picture's hard to see. It wasn't a very good negative.
That the Strand back there.
There's the Strand Theater in the background, and look at all the people packed in downtown Tuscola.
Oh, that looks like.
He taken away. I mean, the head shape.
in this hat. That is there a picture of Gus Flesser wearing a hat like that?
You wouldn't find Gus in the crowd like that.
No, he'd be back.
Yeah, there's a picture of Gus with his hat, but that's not Gus. Could be Thackeray. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like tack, but
This was just laying loose, so it was not in the envelope. But a lot of the pictures, this is the negative,
That's
so
fine.
probably from the 40s.
yeah, this could be
Yeah, we don't know.
coming back from the war. War's over. 47. Okay.
Now I knew you would like this picture.
I know the story here. You ready for the story on this one? Tuscola used to have two weekly newspapers, Phil White's Journal and Bob Hastings' Review. And they used to be extremely competitive. And Phil White ran a big editorial. He blasted Bob Hastings and said Bob Hastings was a half-assed Navy corpsman. He was a half-assed mortician down, I don't know what town. And he said he's a half-assed editor. He said he says they have a circulation of 4,000. He says I see him throw 3,000 out in the garbage. He says he's so poor he doesn't have a pot to piss in. And the next week, Bob ran this photo and said, "Yes, I do." And that's the truth. That actually appeared in his paper. And behind him is Bobby Yard, who went to work at the news. Right over Bob's shoulder is head is Bobby Yard.
Class of 63.
My
He
sister's
spent
class.
He spent over 40 years.
At News Gazette. And this guy on the right, we know him too.
Yeah, I know it, but I can't name him.
And that gal worked with Bob all those years. What was her name on the left?
Eileen Jones.
That's a great
Eileen
picture.
Jones. Yeah, Jones.
I worked with
Bob-
her when I first started at the newspaper.
Quackenbush, though, isn't it?
No, is that Bert? No,
No.
that's not Bert. Bert Quackenbush would never go along with it, but Bob's underneath that it said, "Yes, I do." Didn't have a pot to pee in.
Oh, God.
We
Jack
know him.
Tom- Jack Thompson says, I think it's Joe Goodwin, upper right, and his mom.
Goodwin.
Dorothy.
Is that Jacobs on the left, upper left?
And Joyce Lewis says Bert Quackenbush next to Bob holding.
Oh,
the
maybe Bert
pot.
went along with it.
It could be Bert,
Bob
but
and
it
Bert-
doesn't look like him.
Bob and Bert were partners, and then Bob bought him out. And his building at the time is probably where the pub is, Kenny Oaks Pub. Or no, I think the building is where it's where the CPA Root, Curtis Root's building is where the the review used to be.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Classic.
I loved it.
picture.
David, people used to line up to get the papers to see what they said. Phil and Bob had quite a
Oh,
war.
man, they had a war.
We're gonna need help on this one.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot of help.
SS are the initials.
Steiner or Sturgill, I don't know.
You're going to have to just tell us.
Della Smith.
Stella?
Della Smith.
Stella.
Stella.
1966.
Sue.
When?
1966.
66, yeah.
Yeah, he looks familiar.
That's one of those gas company pictures.
You got initials on this one? I think we get this one.
The name on the envelope from
Don't say,
1955.
don't say name, just envelope,
Huh?
just the initials.
Just the initial.
Just have a last name, B.
That's not Barnes, is it?
No.
Done? Did
Oh,
you
D?
say D or
B
B?
as in boy.
Barnes.
No, it's not Barnes.
I guess you'll have to give it to us.
Bruger, Brueger.
Oh, we would have got that if you gave us time. Just give us more time, David.
Bruder.
Burger.
Sounds like a movie name.
Yeah.
This could be a picture of a convict. This
It
can,
looks like it. He escaped.
yeah.
Above that says CIPS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's what you said, Bill, wasn't it?
Well, he had, Bill said he looks like somebody that was trench digger.
Mm.
Now we should know him. I'll tell you what, if we had his initials, we'll get him.
WL. But
Warren
he's lived in, I think he lived in Camargo.
Lewis.
William Lowe.
Low.
Oh, that's Duke
Wow.
Lowe. That's Duke Lowe.
Duke Lau?
That's Duke Lowe. Lough.
Lough.
That's the artist.
That's the artist.
That's Duke.
That's Duke Lowe.
I knew Duke, but I knew him 30 years later.
Well,
Almost 30 years later.
you know, I had one time had every one of his drawings. And
I've
I
still got it.
and I interviewed him one time for an article, asked him what the key to his art was. And he said his number one saying was, to analyze is to paralyze. Don't think about it, just do it.
Sounds like our golf game.
Well, it's always been the problem with your golf game. You're always thinking of the shot, where to hit it. Just hit the ball, Bill. Hit the ball.
Hit the ball.
Duke Lowe.
Duke Lau.
He was probably more famous. He became quite collectible. I don't know where you can still see his drawings. Does the
Monocles used to have.
Monocles used to have them on the wall.
They
I've
still
got
have them.
I've still got some.
Train station. I've got the bass jumping out of the water.
Son David lives here in town.
Hmm.
Ducarini. He's a nice guy. He's got his pencil and his mechanical pencil ready
Well, I
to draw.
remember he used to draw in the guard shack at the plant, they
Mhm.
said.
Yeah,
He liked working there because he.
they had a lot of break-ins though, because he was always in the middle of a picture.
Yeah, a lot of people wanting to break in.
Yeah, nobody's going to break in at the guard shack. Okay. O'Laughlin.
Well, let me look at the name.
Looks like Pat.
He's in the Navy.
Pat's dead.
Well, it says Willow Grove, so maybe a Willow Grove person.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. You have a name?
Carl Melvin. And can't read the last name if it's Bean or Byrne. Bean, maybe.
Hmm.
1944.
Happy to go serve.
I like to get these guys in uniform
Oh,
preserved.
yeah. Classic
Mhm.
shots. If you give us a year on this, we can have no trouble naming her.
1944.
Well, now we have trouble. You gave us the wrong date. Well, who would this be?
Well,
they're about 4 years older
Let's
than
back,
us.
yeah, I was gonna say, let's back up. The little boy's a couple of years old, so
He was
he's
born,
born
42.
42. So he's 5 years older than
7,
you.
So he's class of 57,
Class of,
57, 58. And she's probably 55.
no. You don't think, really, you think so? If they're 5 years older
He's
than
born
you,
in
you
42.
graduated in 65.
Right. So he's 60, you think?
Look at the
That's
size of that
okay.
negative.
Do you have a name?
Mrs. Warren Boylston.
Dr. Boylston's
that's,
wife.
That's he was in Rick Marsh's class, I thought. What was his name? Wore glasses, blonde-haired guy.
Well, it's Boylston's children, right?
Well, I
What was her
the-
name? The girl.
I don't know, but he lived in the house. He lived in the house till he died.
They're on Daggy Street.
Yeah. The big white house. I forget his name. I think it was Rick Marsh's class. I think he was like 50. I think it's back in the 50s, 57
Hmm.
maybe.
someone should have commented on this. But maybe not.
No,
I'm trying to think of the girl's
I
name.
never knew her. Oh, there was a Boylston girl, Kathleen.
Is that it?
Kathleen Boylston was about 57, I think.
Call letter back.
Bob Butterbeck would know.
We're
Nope.
running out of people to call. Okay. Woo, professional businessman. Like the tie.
That ABC button, what is
I
that?
don't know what button it is.
Zero in on the button.
you're not
I
gonna.
like Eikendick. Larry Eikendick.
I've got two pictures that are similar.
Hmm.
Is that the same suit? They look similar, but one looks older than the other.
Well, different ties. If you look at the tie,
Well, the envelopes, they have the same last name, but different towns, but they're both 1940. And
what are the towns?
Tuscola and Camargo.
Well, sometimes
Shunk?
Camargo would make you age.
Yeah. Water was
Mhm.
sulfur. What you got?
Well, this one, the negatives are in pretty bad shape for the most part. But this
You got
one said E.R. McCumber, Tuscola.
That would be,
Doug's uncle.
And this one says Everett McCumber, Camargo.
okay.
Well, they have a farm in between. There's a McCumber farm in between. Dwight owned one out by Patterson Springs, in between Camargo and Tuscola.
He
Don't look
inherited.
like
That
enough
is-
Oh,
age
that's Dwight.
difference.
I
Is
wonder if
that-
that Dwight's McCumber's dad.
Yeah,
That could be Doug's granddad.
Are they the same person though? Because they're both 1940. This
well,
one,
they look it,
Yeah, I think
well,
so.
this one has more dark hair than this one.
touched up.
Well, this is
could
a
be,
great mystery. This is a great mystery to explore.
It is a great mystery. But anyway,
He did a suit change, and then dyed his hair a little bit.
well, one says September of 1940, the other one says January of 1940.
Well, there you go.
Had a rough fall. It was bad.
Crops were bad. Crops were bad. He lost money.
Except this is the one that says January, and this is the one that says September.
So he started dyeing his hair after the crops were bad.
Yeah,
So, so I don't know.
Oh boy,
oh, man.
that's Paul Bunyan.
This picture is from the 1880s or 1890s, and it's one of those oil type things.
1875.
Yeah, it's a picture of a picture. And
If he gave us his name, we can get him.
yeah, there's nothing on the envelope. So it's probably somebody's parent or grandparent,
Or
And-
great grandparent.
because there were
He fought at Shiloh High School.
so I went ahead and put them up thinking maybe somebody will identify them.
Maybe that was a couple, maybe, huh?
Yeah. It's like a
And this
bang.
guy looks a little familiar, doesn't he?
Mr. Bangburn's dad,
I was
granddad.
gonna say, it looks like a Pangburn mustache, doesn't it?
Looks like Mike Bangburn's mustache.
Hmm. God,
Do you inherit mustaches?
I don't know.
Probably. Well, cigar's not staying lit. So anyway,
Well, it
maybe
must-
somebody will figure that out for us.
This is in the 40s too, I take it.
This is 1956.
We got a chance if you give us the initials.
GD.
56, not Jane Dunn. G.
Gee,
E, yeah. Gail
No.
Dodson.
Who?
Gail Dotson.
Gail Dodson is the name on the envelope.
Well, there's Adele Dodson, who's about the class of what, 59, 60?
Pretty girl.
But I've never heard of Gail Dawson.
Me neither.
Oh, yeah, that's not a pretty sight, is it? That's not Bruce Williams, is it? That's the meat guy.
Is that one of the Myers Meat House? I've worked at the slaughterhouse cleaning
Well, I
up.
think this may be Atwood. The envelope says
Oh,
Austin
that was
Plant.
Bill Myers.
Bill Meyer.
Austin Locker Plant Atwood, it says.
I don't know how long, Bill's been over there for a long time, then he came to Tuscola.
You know those cows that got loose in Tuscola?
There they are.
Found them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they did?
They found most, they only had 3 left.
Yeah. People in Camargo were eating them. It looks like Dale
Well,
bait.
So there were several pictures in this envelope.
That Dale. The Bill Meyer.
Well, let's see.
But I think that's Atwood.
No, I can't read his sign. Oh, here we go. 8:30
Saturday
Saturday. This beer high
Boar, I think.
boar.
Hung in this window 82 and a half hours at 72
At
degrees.
72 degrees.
Well, that could be Bill Meyer.
Oh, they're advertising their cooler.
Oh, okay. It's equipped with electronic pasture.
What's that do for you?
It does for me.
Fresher, more tender, more healthful, full of juices and vitamins. That's what it does for you.
It does for meats what pasteurization does for milk.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So they were advertising their new system there, and there they've got
They're working on some ribs and beef jerky.
meat hanging up. I don't know that we can read any of these.
Bacon.
This is the old meat locker in Atwood. And we used to go over there and get meat.
Yeah, old Bill he was always been a good, sold out to Stillwell.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of ham spice. Kind of an interesting set of pictures, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Very.
That hole, is that
Mabel?
Mabel Hole?
It's my second grade teacher, Mabel Hole.
She never aged either. Dipped in plastic. She's born about
And-
what, 19?
Tim
Well,
Hole's mother.
look one time.
We looked at Gail out there. What Gail?
It's the early 1917, 18. She was older than him.
Couple years.
This
I
is
think-
1944.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember I was absent the day they made Christmas ornaments to take home. I got to school the next day and she had made one for me, so I would have one too.
Isn't that sweet? She's a nice lady.
Real estate lady.
There she is again.
There she is again.
Fashion plate.
Boy, she was sharp dressed, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
We'd have fun with this one if we could figure that. That looks like
This is Mrs. Leonard, Betty Leonard.
Betty Leonard.
That's George, young George's mother.
Looks like Bo Nichols in there. This is a church photo, I think, with don't know, Lutheran minister. I'm guessing.
Yeah, he looks awfully familiar.
Pastor
Yeah.
Martin Frecky.
Frecky. Martin
Frecky.
Frecky. There's the Ron boy.
The
Bo
envelope
Nichols.
says Lutheran Church Confirmation,
Bo Nichols.
1945.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bo graduated 51.
Linda Burr's mother.
Now there's some people in here you'll recognize.
Kobe Decker.
Well, there's Devin Flesser, third from the left, first row.
Front row.
Looking-
Right.
looking up at God.
Rolling her eyes, probably.
She is.
This is 1975.
Do I have to stay here?
Colby Decker's next to the minister.
Who's the big boy? It looks like an
The-
Evelyn.
Who's the one on the,
Far right.
yeah. Gotta get rid of that somehow.
I don't know who that is.
Colby, Devin, we got some more we can get here if we just think about it.
That's the problem. Trying to think about it. This
And-
girl here looks awfully familiar.
Analysis to paralyze.
Okay.
Reverend Metzger,
Methodist Church, yeah,
Methodist Church.
right in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Marcy Shoemaker says Shelley Armstrong and Colby Decker in the back. And
Well, I don't know.
maybe on the left, Shelley, but I mean, I worked with Shelley, but that was 10 years later. And Jim Gallagher says Carrie Parker, Lynn Rhodes, Lori Cross, Marty Stewart, Carol Riley.
Oh, do that again.
Carrie Parker, Lynn Rhodes, Lori Cross, Marty Stewart, Carol Riley.
Okay, I think Lori Cross is the third one from the right.
And Kelly Kronig says girl in the middle looks like Tammy Kronig.
Could be, but right there's Lynn Cross.
Mm-hmm.
Lynn Mooney.
The Parker girl I thought was
Well-
smaller than that.
Yeah.
Dick Parker's daughter.
Some of these would be a few years older than me, but this kid on the right looks familiar, but
Yeah.
in 1975, I was only 10 years old.
Hmm.
W.A. Bozar, second from left. This is an old photo.
Yeah, that's a young W.A.
This may be in the 40s.
1946.
You know what? W.A. was teaching or whatever I think he's teacher over at Newman. This might be in the Newman church.
Well, the envelope says Methodist Church, Tuscola.
There you go.
Lay
Close.
lay conference. So some of them may be from out of town. Same envelope. I think WA's in here somewhere. Maureen Deaver says Dr. Melvin Lossman in the light suit in front.
Fourth one from the left. Fourth from the left, front row
God,
is Melvin Lossman. That looks like Corky Waters
It
almost.
looks like Corky, but it couldn't be, could it?
No, he played basketball in 49, so it's a little
Yeah.
early for him.
Back row, second from left, but WA.
Yeah, it's really dark.
Yeah.
Well, the negative was really not very, it's a 10 negative.
Yeah.
Melvin Lossman, all business.
Please give me some Novocaine, Doc. Please.
Oh, man, that drill.
Ugh.
Just smoke.
That's the drive-through, the old
Huh.
First National Bank drive-through.
Mm-hmm. That's Mrs. Wilson, I think.
Yeah.
Lois Wilson.
And that's the richest dog in
Mhm.
town. The dog put his savings, his allowance every week in a savings
Mhm.
account.
Yeah.
Dog's worth $1 million now.
And
Can I give you a story out of this? This is the drive-through that is next to the old Waddington Funeral Home, across the street from our law office. Can I give you a short story there?
well, sure, of course. That's what we're here for, Mike.
I came back from the Army in 1973 and I'm driving down Main Street. I'm going right by this right here, 74. Kahuna, big Kahuna, just loud as can be. And I stopped the car, big Kahuna. I thought it was the Lord talking to me. I looked up in the sky, I looked around.
It's over the speaker.
It was Jimmy Calais inside here yelling at me as I drove by. And there was some poor gal in a car just covered up like that.
Jim was working there.
Jim was working there. I think that was there in 74.
Shirley Taylor worked there, and
It was a popular drive-through.
yeah,
This photo is from 1970, and we think the woman in the car is Pat Laley or Pat Gailey.
Well, it could be.
Doc Gailey's wife.
That doesn't look like Fred though out the window. That was a joke.
I got it.
I got it. There's the inside.
Yeah.
She's giving him a dog biscuit. See, he's
Yeah.
getting an interest on his deposit.
Well, I was gonna say that's.
I never got a dog biscuit or a
No,
cookie or anything.
no.
Did you?
No, they don't. Suckers. They used to give out.
I never got
suckers to
that.
kids
Oh boy, the
inside of the Catholic Church.
Catholic Church looks like Rome. Tuscola. Give us a year.
This one is 1961.
Got a ball. Looks like he's gonna throw a splitter.
77, graduated about 77. I don't know, Gordy Cross.
It's Chris Collier.
Oh, Tom Collier's son.
And so I believe this is isn't that the one that was killed in a car wreck, and he's about 18.
With the Boris boy.
Boris.
Yes. I was state attorney at the time, and they were heading south, and they hit the
And there was a third boy.
Weaver boy was coming
Weaver boy.
from a date. Nice kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tragic.
Greg Weaver.
All three of them killed on top of the overpass. I was state attorney at the time. I remember working that case. Very bad.
Yeah. That looks like that's it.
Well, we got what? We dropped about 93%, didn't we?
Well, you
What do you
did
think?
pretty well.
I thought we did real well.
Yeah, you get back in 44. Bill and I were only about 10 or 15 then. Back in 44. I'll tell you what, to see somebody when they had hair and it was dark, and it's different.
Well,
You and I haven't changed.
we haven't changed.
We
That's
haven't
what I
changed,
was
but
gonna say.
most of these people have changed.
Most of these, yeah, they've all changed, but we stay the same. It's just
It's
messy.
amazing.
Mhm.
I just think it's amazing.
I
Oh,
still
you
have a few of
do
those
got-
peta photos I hadn't done yet.
Tuscola alumni.
You s-
We've never changed.
We never have. I'm always voted the least changed at the reunion. I'm still crazy.
I'm always determined to be the one with the least change in my pocket.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I'll tell you
Well,
what.
I have change in my pocket now, because I wrote a column about that a few weeks ago
Yeah.
about
Mhm.
He's working those puns again.
Oh, he's,
yeah,
Okay.
and Sally Dowd gave me a handful of change so that I would have change in my pocket.
I'll tell you what, you're begging. You ought to go in the corner and just beg.
Sally bought me a cigar a couple months ago too.
Does she know that you smoke only cheap and expensive cigars?
I only smoke good cigars.
Do you
now, will
follow?
we have an audience for this live show we're doing?
Nobody knows. It's the future.
Oh, I was gonna say people
It'll
like
be
Sally
live.
Dowd would come and sit in the audience.
Well, would you watch it?
Our sponsor this
David,
week is Elite Builders.
David, are you expecting a crowd? Do you think we're breaking your records next week with Marcy and Lynn?
Well, I think we'll have one or two people.
We did the Kiwanis thing, remember?
I thought Kiwanis was fun. I like the dynamic. You don't get anything live anymore, unscripted, you know? It's either Trump or you and I. David, is everything going well at the paper?
Been busy.
Good.
We had a funny story in there this week. We had some old guy trying to take a picture of the train and ended up taking a picture of himself.
Well, that happens, you know. I have great sympathy for the guy. These modern phones,
Yeah, well, we've
look at this.
proved that.
Look at this.
What'd you do?
I just want to show you what happened on that photo. You go to take a photo and you try to get it to go. See, I can't get it now. It used to be, where's the wheel at? See, I can't see, I'm even messed up right now. I don't.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
there
it's, hey.
used to be a wheel on it. See if I can get it again. Portrait, photo.
They're not going to.
We have trouble with technology.
I'm having trouble putting it on the.
Screen too.
See, look at this wheel up here. Move phone continuously. Pano. What's pano? See,
Panoramic.
there's that dial. See this thing here? Look at that.
Mhm.
Natural light, stage light, high key light mono. What the hell is high key light mono? You know? And I'm sitting there trying to, you know. There it is. See that wheel?
Yeah.
It goes
And
up.
that's on while you're trying to take a picture?
Well, yeah, I'm going to do telephoto. The train's coming, so I'm trying to do telephoto
Oh.
here, see? And my fingers down here with pano and stuff like that. And all of a sudden I realize I hear the train go by here, a whistle knocked me over. So I go, I got to go back to normal. So I go back to normal, do that, go do that, look up, and there's no train
So you have that picture on there of yourself?
somewhere. Somewhere. I actually got two shots, David. Here's the other one. I'll show you the other shot. I didn't even know I was taking shots. While I was doing that messing around, I was taking shots. Here's one of the shots. Can you see that? Oh no, that's wrong here. Let me see. Photo selected. I can't pull a photo out.
I can't figure out for the life of me what the problem would be, Mike. You seem so adept at this technology. You're,
Well, you would think I'd have it.
you're finding everything right away and turn your camera around and
Well,
different
yeah,
pictures.
yeah. I
Look at
don't.
this.
Yeah, I see. Bill got a photo. How did you do that? I'll show you one more photo I got, David. Just a second.
Bill
don't
got
know.
a picture of the train?
I got one on the train as I was doing all this stuff. I must have hit the clicker, and I got something that. Let me see if I can find it. If you got a second,
This is
we'll show him your photo while I look for this.
Well,
this is a
okay.
classic here. Two boomers working their cell phones.
Well, you can't. How do you ever find your photos?
In the gallery.
Yeah, but I mean, I got 48 million of them.
There you go. That's a good one. A lot of, hold it up a little bit. Hold it up a little more. There you go. Look at all the smoke coming out. It's hard to get good smoke pictures.
If you give me a second, I'm about ready to find this one I took.
I thought I did real well with
Yeah.
that. I expanded it.
You got to hold it up. There you go. Yeah, that's a good one.
There you go.
Did you find it?
Yeah, yeah. Here, David.
What is that? A tornado?
I don't know, David. The train was thundering by and I accidentally hit that button. That could be my surgery scar. That could be the back of somebody's head. I don't know what that is. I mean, but there it is.
Where's
That's
the
one-
other picture?
Well, let me see if I can
Just
find it.
swipe left or right. It should be right next to it.
Well, David, this doesn't work that way. I've lost it now. Let's see. I'll tell you what, it made me so mad. I'm really a historian. I love this stuff, you know, and that thing just thundered by and there it is.
There you go. Nice view there, Mike.
I got my cargo pants in it. Yeah, I mean, if Dave, I just showed Bill what it's like to pull the photo thing up and all the options you got and what you're supposed to do and the wheel. See, there's the wheel. See the wheel?
Rather exciting.
See the wheel there?
Mm-hmm.
You got to spin it, you know? You got to spin it,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, for zooming, yeah. I took a picture the other day. Look at that.
Oh, you must.
Oh, harvest moon.
It's a
Yeah.
harvest moon with a partial eclipse.
Did you put a telephoto on it or was that through a telescope?
250 millimeter photo lens. This dark area up here at the top is the partial eclipse. But look how much detail you get just using a regular Canon Rebel with a 250 millimeter lens. It's just
Well, they've got these rangefinder cameras, automatic. You just point and shoot. I think these iPhone cameras have gotten very, very complicated. I know they got a billion options, things you can do. But I'm gonna go back to a point and shoot camera.
need one of those Kodak brownies you talked about in your story.
Remember those little things, cardboard, actually came in a cardboard box, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
You'd hold them and just,
Yeah,
and then roll it.
right.
Roll it.
Used to buy them for little to nothing.
I think about $1 or $2, and throw them away.
Kodak.
Yeah, they never quite got that in digital format, did they?
No,
They had the old
not
film.
hardly.
David, let's repeat next week because I think you're going to have a sellout crowd.
Yeah. Well, photography's come a long way since you had negatives like this. I mean, that's a big negative.
Yeah. Kodak Brownie did not have that. Had no settings, no aperture, no shutter speed. You hit the button. Well, David, next Thursday at noon, live. Don't wait till 3 o'clock to see us look at the pictures. There won't be any looking at pictures next week.
Well, the pictures will be on Facebook, but
I mean, we won't be guessing them. If you're
we won't
going
be
to
guessing. We'll save that for the next week.
Bill and I telling stories, we won't be there. We'll be telling homecoming stories at noon with Lynn Colbecker, Lynn Cross, Doc Cross's daughter, and Tim Colbecker, who went to high school at Springfield Griffith and came over with his dad, Charlie, to work at the gas company.
Marcy will be on.
Marcy will be on. Marcy's dad was Martian, and he was graduating about 49, and her mom graduated in 54, I think.
I bet Mitchner and Taylor crashed the party.
Well, if they had any kind of courage, they would. Mitchner could tell some homecoming stories, so could Taylor.
Yeah.
Everybody's invited.
When did they stop burning outhouses?
Well, ours was in 64, 65. There was a caravan heading south on the Egyptian Trail. It included guys like Tom McDaniel.
Bill Hoke.
Wound up being a top executive at
Cat.
Doug
Don't
Carnine.
tell us too much. Save it for next week.
Wound up being Doug Carnine, nation's leading educator. And then Billy Hoke was hauling the outhouse, and then somebody got panicked and hit their brakes, and they all hit their brakes, and the outhouse flew over the top, I think.
I'll tell the finish of it next week.
Yeah, you had to scoop it all up, didn't you?
I was in the middle of it, so to speak.
You caused it probably.
No, I didn't.
You panicked.
No,
You panicked.
not
You got
me.
nervous.
I wasn't driving.
You always panicked.
No.
You choked.
Choke.
You choked on the outhouse poop.
Oh, man.
Okay,
They stopped it, though. They stopped burning them.
and I'll tell you a story if I can remember. You remind me, Bill, about the time that Arcola was coming up in a caravan to ruin our
Oh,
homecoming.
boy.
And I was asked to jump in a car with Don Fortney, Rick Gibson, and Chuck Turnell.
Yeah, what a
said,
nice crew.
Yeah.
Good boys.
Jump in, Carol. Where are we going? You'll find out.
Well,
One
don't
car.
tell, save it for next week.
You know, David, when it starts coming out, I just can't stop it.
Just give them a little taste here.
We're trying to tantalize you a little bit.
Yeah, we're doing a good job.
Yeah. Oh boy, they're hanging on with their fingernails now.
There'll be people beating down your door.
Yeah, Dave, it'll win awards, I know.
That coffee shop will, oh, they'll make a fortune.
We'll make the coffee shop.
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll probably name it after us.
Look forward to seeing Marcy and Lynn next week. And you and Bill,
Yep. Wear your Tuscola gear.
whoever else shows up. We'll wear our homecoming regalia.
Thanks a lot, David.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you next week. Remember, live at noon at the coffee shop.
Be there or be square.
We'll see you.